Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. Means we're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. About half the work week in the rearview mirror. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Lots to do. Michael Van Buren's not getting a red shirt, which is probably not stunning to you based on the fact that he was in the game in the second half against Alabama last week. But we'll go back to March and kind of revisit how we got here and talk a little bit about the future, plus what Frank Wilson had to say today. It's What If Wednesday. Happy to get those inside the Bayou Ford chat there on YouTube. I want to spend about 5-8 minutes talking about speaking with LSU's players last night. Did not get a chance to do that last week with all the ridiculous drama circulating with the athletic director and all that. So I want to speak about that briefly. We'll do it at the end of the hour. Got a kind of a wish list for the Saints in the second half of the season now they've gotten to the bye. JD Picell of On3 Sports going to be with us in 15 minutes. I got SEC Power Rankings, so lots and lots to do. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our Genesis Opening Drive.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
So it's become apparent that you, the LSU fan, a lot of you listening, LSU fans, are not overly concerned with the wins and losses on the football field the rest of the way. Is that fair to say? Like, I can jump in your boat. I was texting with buddies during the game, Saturday night, first quarter, second quarter. It's like LSU is playing Bama. It's a reasonably close football game. My heart is beating almost zero. My emotional investment, my usual anxiety and tension and nervousness, it just wasn't there. I noticed it, and I think you all are kind of there as well. We get numbers. I look at who's watching on YouTube. I look at who's watching on Instagram. I look at who's reading on LouisianaSports.net. Like, we know what y'all are dialed into, what you are not, based on the numbers. And in terms of this football season and these football games, like, you're not as locked in as, generally speaking, you would be. And that's natural. The coach is gone. The goals are gone. You're playing out the string as a fan. Now, we're going to talk about the players at the end of the hour, and I'll give you a little bit of a different vibe there. But as far as you, the fan, go, like, you're not locked in on this. You want to know who the next coach is going to be. Here's the deal. November 12th, I don't know. I cannot stand here confidently and give you 3 names that Verge Osbury is definitely going to call. Like, I could probably give you Lane Kiffin. He probably gets a phone call. I don't think that's unreasonable. Beyond that, am I certain they're going to call Eli Drinkwitz? No. Am I certain they're going to call Joe Brady? No. Am I certain they're going to call Kelvin Shepard? No. Do I know for sure Nick Saban's in the running here? I don't. Lane Kiffin's the hottest name going. Florida's in it. LSU's in it. I'm sure Auburn will make a phone call. The Giants probably reach out. But beyond him, like, I don't know. So for me to sit here and like, well, here are the 3 guys. Like, I don't know. It's November the 12th. I don't have that. It would be a waste of time. What I can give you are some feelings I have about a profile. Some things that are non-negotiable to me that the next coach has. Some things that I strongly prefer that the next coach has. Some things that I am out on. And then you can start to kind of form a pool based on that criteria. It's my pool, which, again, take that for what it's worth. I won't be making any phone calls to take this job. But here's kind of the profile that I'm looking for, because college football is different today than it was 15 years ago. It's different today than it was 6-7 years ago. And so I've got some things that I look for in a coach, and here's how we'll get into it. The first one is not negotiable. This is a must as a quality. It cannot be compromised. It must be extremely well vetted. Period. End of discussion. The next football coach at LSU has to be 100% committed and obsessed with making LSU the best football program it can be. Non-negotiable. That's going to eliminate some people older in age, in my opinion. I have watched too many guys in this era of huge coach salaries and huge coach buyouts that have decided to ease out of here. And I'm not just talking about Brian Kelly here. Like, let me be clear. Like, we've seen, like, Jim Larranaga said, I'm out of here. Forget it. Jay Wright looked at this and said, I'm out of here. Forget it. We've seen other coaches who have looked around. Bruce Pearl said, done. You get to a certain point. You've been burning that oil for 30 years. Like, you got that much money based on what college coaches are being paid right now. I can question that commitment. Like, it's just natural. These are human beings. We talked about Nick Saban a week and a half ago. He said, I just didn't feel like I could put the hours in. It took too much out of me. There's so much money there, and the world is so much different. And for years and years and years, these coaches in their 50s and 60s have had complete authority over young people with very little, and they had all the power, and that's how they coached. And that was the era. Now, the players have all the power. You coach me like that, I don't like it, I'm out of here. Your booster can only give me that, I don't like it, I'm out of here. That's the sport. So if you grew up in a different era, you coached in a different era, you're comfortable in a different era, and you got all that money. Like, I don't need a head coach coming here to LSU at 58, 59, 63 years old. You got a ton of life to live at 58, 59, 63 years old. I don't need you to be the coach at LSU. And there are people that are younger that may not be fully committed. That's a non-negotiable. And you've got to vet that. You've got to talk to people, and you've got to know how obsessed this next coach is with winning. Y'all know the example I'm going to give to you. It's right down the road on Gurrier and Nicholson. Jay Johnson, obsessed. Got to have it. That goes into my next one. Under 55 is just an arbitrary line that I drew, and that's not a non-negotiable. You can be over 55 years old, but it's a strong preference of mine that you're on the younger side. That's a strong preference. So add that to the profile. Head coaching experience. Matt asked Verge Osbury on this station, is head coaching experience required? Verge's answer was, we prefer that. It's not required. And I feel the exact same way. That is a strong preference of mine that you have been a head coach. It's not required. We have listed so many different guys who have not been head coaches. Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, Dabo Sweeney. Like, there are plenty of guys out there that have done this without head coaching experience. And this is kind of what you're swimming in with Joe Brady, what you're swimming in with Kelvin Shepard. Maybe if you go grab Oregon's offensive coordinator who's very young, Georgia's defensive coordinators worked under Kirby Smart. Like, there are some names that are surfacing. I prefer someone who's run this type of organization. It's a big, big deal. And you have to be comfortable delegating. And coordinators don't really delegate. Coordinators dominate. And when you're the head coach at this level, you've got to hire the staff, recruit the players. You've got to re-recruit the players, handle the transfer portal, hire a front office, game plan on the offensive side, game plan on the defensive side, talk to the boosters, raise the funds, deal with the quote-unquote salaries you're dealing with, go to the coaches' meetings, run the camps. Like, it's a lot that runs under this, and you've got to be comfortable delegating. I'm certainly not suggesting if you've never done it before that you can't, because all these guys got to start somewhere. I like the idea of head coaching experience. I do. You've got to embrace this era of the NIL and the transfer portal. This kind of goes back to the top part, but it's a subset. There are some people that are very, very comfortable in this NIL and transfer portal world. I've heard Will Wade do interviews about it. At McNeese, he was like, I hope you come here, dominate, and leave and go to a Power 5 school. I hope you do that. Like, that's an embracing the fact that, hey, my best player might leave at that level. It's embracing that players make money. You don't think Lane Kiffin embraces the transfer portal? He knows that the rules are out of control, but he was one of the first head coaches to dive into this and go, this is how we're going to do it. I like that. You can't complain about the rules. You've got to embrace the rules because they're not going anywhere. So that's something that's got to come up in the interview process. And if I have an interview with you and I'm Virgil Osbury and I'm talking to the next potential head coach of the LSU Tigers, and you say, well, what do you think about the NIL and transfer portal? And I see a sigh or a groan, forget it. You have to be 100% in on the fact that these are the rules and this is how we're going to do things. And I'll tell you, like Kelvin Shepherd and Joe Brady have never dealt with that. Never dealt with 19-year-olds saying, you need to give me more money now or I'm leaving. And there may be coaches say, if a 19-year-old comes to me and says, give me more money now, I'm leaving, then they're out. Like Nico did that in Knoxville, and Tennessee said, okay, see ya. But you've got to embrace these new rules. And then here's the last thing that I'll give you here. I like an expertise on one side of the ball. I do. I like when Lane Kiffin's hired somewhere, you're getting his offense. When you get Kirby Smart somewhere, you're getting his defense. When you hire Dan Lanning somewhere, you're getting his defense. When you hire Mike Elko at Texas A&M, like you're getting good third down defense. He was great on third down at Notre Dame. He was great on third down at Texas A&M. He was great on third down at Duke. He's the best in the country at third down in Texas A&M. You're getting that when you hire him as your head coach. Eli Drinkwitz has been a good offensive mind as a coordinator, as a head coach at two different stops. I like that. There are plenty of examples of guys who did not have that. Like Dabo did not have that. Brent Key was an offensive lineman, was never a coordinator. He's winning games at Georgia Tech. I wouldn't say he has an expertise as a play caller and as a coordinator somewhere, but he's instilled a culture. Same with Dan Campbell at the Lions. John Harbaugh with the Ravens was a special teams guy. So, again, there are examples. You can find an example, if you look hard enough, for a pro and a con for every single thing. But my checklist here that I'm going to work off of has no flexibility at the top, and that's with the full commitment and the rules. You got to be in on winning and playing by these rules. At that, I will not negotiate either one of those, period. You must be able to do that. I like you under 55. I like you with head coaching experience. I like you with expertise on one side of the ball. I don't care about geography. I don't care which side of the ball. I'm not saying, oh, you've got to go score points in this area. Oh, I really prefer a defensive-minded head coach. That's not my deal. But you realize that LSU's last three head coaches, Les Miles, never an offensive coordinator, was an offensive line guy, like run game, but like not an expert on one side of the ball, X and O you up. Ed Ogeron, defensive line coach, not an X and O guy. And then Brian Kelly certainly has an offense and has been a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator, but like he's thought of as a CEO. Give me somebody with an identity on one side of the ball. Give me something that the program is, you're going to show up on August 1st at practice and know that side of the ball is taken care of because he's got it. He's the head coach, but he's taking care of that. You hadn't had it here since Nick Saban left. I'd like it. So that's my list here. You can massage that any way you want, and if you heard some of the examples I gave, like Lane Kiffin obviously checks a lot of these boxes. He's fully committed to winning. I don't know his age. I'm imagining he's under 55. He's got head coaching experience. He embraces the portal and the NIL. He's got an expertise on one side of the ball. Like, that's obviously ideal. And there's a reason why Lane Kiffin is going to command the monster contract that he's going to get from either Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, Penn State, the Giants, or LSU real shortly. He checks all those boxes. But there are some other guys that do as well. And hopefully LSU is able to land one of those guys despite the circus that's going on in the clouds above us. Thought we'd kind of lay that foundation there. We'll work from that as we start to talk about different names that LSU may be involved with moving forward in this coaching search. That's how we start today with our Genesis Opening Drive, our Wednesday shows, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Step aside. When we come back, Frank Wilson was asked today about redshirting, whether some players might sit the last three games. I'll tell you what he had to say and kind of where we stand at the quarterback position when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. I think we got something cooking over there at Swing Easy for next weekend. I'll tell you about that as we move forward, but I'll tell you, it's an awesome place to go hang out. They got cold beer, cold seltzers, glass of wine if you want it, comfortable private sitting areas with that golf simulator. You can watch games on TV, hang out with buddies, play some music, hit some shots, turn on Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, play against your buddies, play a scramble with your buddies. It's a great time over there at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You can find them on Segan near Perkins. You can get a membership. You can stop by during the week, stop by on the weekend. Just hit some golf shots and hang out. It's a great place to do it. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, Segan near Perkins, online at swingeasygcbr.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. It's in the 30s in the morning, so not going to be at the pool anytime soon. But if you want to make sure that by springtime you are in that pool that you have always dreamt of having in your backyard, work with a local company, local owner who has been helping folks for decades get into the pools of their dreams. That's Joey Blanchard. I'll give you a cell phone number. Thing of Beauty, 225-252-7745. It's 225-252-7745. You give Joey a call, and the beauty of it is as you walk through this process, from the consultation to the design to the digging to the filling to the finishing, like step by step, the owner of the company is with you the entire way. That's Joey's promise to you. He's helped dozens of families in the Baton Rouge area do it. If you're looking for a pool, no matter what type of design you're looking at, big and extravagant resort-style pool, they got you. Small little cocktail pool, they got you for that as well. Anything in between. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can see some of their great work at builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com, or give Joey a call. Again, it's 252-7745, Renaissance Homes and Pools. I remember back in the spring, Wilson Alexander of The Advocate, who covers the team, sat down with Brian Kelly and wrote a series of stories. And in one of them, Brian Kelly said that the backup quarterbacks at that point, which was Michael Van Buren, who had just transferred in from Mississippi State, Colin Hurley, who was in his second year, and Juwan Johnson, who was playing quarterback at this time. Those three guys, he said to Wilson Alexander, would redshirt. Unfortunately, I dug on the internet, and could not find the exact quote, but I have a short that is on YouTube of me talking about it, and I found multiple aggregators that had found it, but I couldn't find the exact quote, but I remember it, and it happened. The thought was, you have three backup quarterbacks, there are 12 games. They can all play four. They can all play four. And, of course, you realize that it's unlikely that a backup quarterback has to play in every game of a 12-game season, especially when you've got a fifth-year senior quarterback on your roster that you're assuming is going to be your starter and play the majority of the season. So that was the plan on March 3rd. Now we sit here on November 12th, and it's still very possible for Hurley and certainly for Michael Van Buren as well. Juwan Johnson moved to running back, and he's played, so that ship sailed for him. But his circumstances changed. But Michael Van Buren could preserve his eligibility. Michael Van Buren's played 3 games. He could play in one more and play in the bowl game, and he could still preserve a red shirt. But if he plays against Arkansas and or Western Kentucky / Oklahoma, so 2 of the 3, he burns his red shirt. So Matt Moscona jumped on the SEC teleconference today and asked Frank Wilson, like, so have you talked about that? Now, clearly, Brian Kelly's not in charge anymore, so things can change. And Frank said this. If he, meaning Michael Van Buren, can come in and contribute and help us to win, it's something he wants to do. It's something we want him to do because we think he has tremendous value to us. And then he continued, those are things you have to take into consideration of student, athlete, and family of what may have been told to them prior and where we're currently at as a program. We're taking those appropriate measures. So what Frank is essentially saying there, and I'm reading a little bit into it, I'm inferring a little bit, but it's like that may have been the plan, and that may have been communicated to Michael and his family. Right now, we're at a spot where we may need him to win games. We're not going to force him out on the field, but we think he can help. We think he can produce. We think he can play, and we'd like him to do that. And it sounds like Van Buren has been agreeable to that. Now, you look at Michael Van Buren's situation. He played last year at Mississippi State in a spot he didn't think he was going to have to because Blake Shapen got hurt in September, and Van Buren came on and started 8 games. Then he hit the transfer portal, and he commanded an NIL figure with what he had put on the field, and he took one to come be a backup at LSU. Now, quarterbacks hit the portal very, very frequently, and it stands to reason whether Michael Van Buren is playing at LSU next year, which is certainly possible, he's here right now, or decides that he might want to look elsewhere, which many quarterbacks do every year. Playing very well drives up your NIL and right now revenue sharing number. It just does. This is no different than an NFL player or a Major League Baseball player or an NBA player on a 1-year deal about to hit free agency. Now, Michael Van Buren can allow himself another year on the back end of this if he wants to sit. He can do that. But he can also, if he comes in and the idea is, hey, you're going to play 20 snaps in this game. And if you play well, you might play 40 snaps against Western Kentucky. And if you play well, like, it's not out of the question, you could start against Oklahoma. There's real opportunity there for Michael Van Buren if he can put on some good tape. Keep in mind, SEC teams, LSU included, so I'm not suggesting Michael Van Buren is trying to leave. That's not what I'm saying. But we all understand that's a possibility, right? Like, you can do that. But LSU is going to have at its disposal north of $18 million to spend on its roster with revenue sharing, and then, of course, the NIL stuff that comes in on the back end of it. But revenue sharing is guaranteed. NIL is kind of opportunity-based. Revenue sharing is the money's there. Now they're going to distribute it to student athletes. Austin Thomas is going to be in charge of that with the next head coach. If you, Michael Van Buren, go out there and play really well in its abbreviated starts, or maybe it's in a significant amount of snaps moving forward, your ability to go ask for more of that rev share to be the starting quarterback on next year's team, it goes up. Now, certainly you could go out there, throw 3 interceptions, fumble twice, complete 28% of your passes, and LSU will be really in the market for a transfer quarterback. So it's just like it's called a prove-it deal. Major League Baseball, I hear that all the time. Guys sign a 1-year prove-it deal. If you go out there and hit 41 homers, hit 276, drive in 105, and have an OPS of 950, you're going to get paid. You go out there and fall flat, you won't. But that's a new wrinkle in collegiate athletics literally this year with revenue sharing. So while it would behoove folks in the past, hey, we're not playing for anything. Like, who cares if we're in the Duke's Mayo Bowl or the ReliaQuest Bowl or the Liberty Bowl? Like, I don't really care about that. I'm trying to preserve that year of eligibility. I'm not going to play more than 4 games. That happens. Get opt-outs all the time. But there's never been an opportunity, well, not until very, very recently, to go to the negotiating table with some of that. And the financial benefit may be more than the additional year down the road in year 5. So I'm not surprised Michael Van Buren wants to play. And I want to be very clear to wrap this. Like, I'm not saying this is what I'm hearing Michael Van Buren's doing. I'm just laying out the reality of collegiate athletics. It has nothing to do independently with Michael Van Buren. It's just the situation we're in. Everyone is playing for their next contract. It can change year to year. And while in March, the plan was maybe for Michael Van Buren, I like this NIL check I'm getting from LSU. I'll learn here, develop here behind Nussmeier, and then we'll go play next. He's got an opportunity now, potentially to go out there, make some plays, show yourself as a capable SEC quarterback once again, and whether it's LSU you're going to the negotiating table or the open market, you can drive that value up. And there are probably, I'm just going to guess a number, 70% of you listening to this that are going, this is disgusting. But it doesn't make it any less true. That's where we are. So I expect to see Michael Van Buren in the game on Saturday. I expect to see him in the game next Saturday. I expect to see him on the field in Norman, Oklahoma. We'll see how much. I think it very likely has to do with how the offense functions with Garrett Nussmeier when he's out there and how it functions with Michael Van Buren when he's out there. And I think the decision then falls to Alex Atkins, Frank Wilson, and Tim Rattay as to what we want to do with these guys moving forward. Drive the drive. And then you see where you end up at the end of the year. Garrett Nussmeier heads off to the NFL. Michael Van Buren gets to decide what he wants to do with the circumstances he's helped create for himself over the last 4 weeks of the season. So, not surprised. Plans change. And this one clearly has changed, according to Frank Wilson, as he spoke with the media on the SEC teleconference earlier today. Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. We'll come back to some What If Wednesday next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
My father, JB Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to...
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
JD Picell from On3 Sports going to be with us in 45 minutes. About half that work week in the rearview mirror. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Lots and lots to do over the final 90 minutes of the show. It all starts with What If Wednesday.
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me. And ponder the question, what if?
All right, let's start this bad boy off with none other than Todd Graves. What if Todd Graves decides he's interested in purchasing the Pelicans and or Saints? Would Gail be willing to listen? I mean, I would jump for joy.
I doubt it. I mean, I would love it. I don't even know if Todd Graves would be any good at running the Saints and Pelicans, but I know that Gail Benson's not any good at running the Saints and Pelicans. So, like, there was a point where you felt like Gail Benson was a good owner because she stayed out of the way and let people do their jobs.
Yeah.
But then the good people left, and now she's staying out of the way and letting the bad people do their jobs.
Yeah.
So that you have to realize, oh, this is bad, and get rid of people. And she doesn't do that, which makes her bad. So, yeah, I would take almost anyone at this point over Gail Benson. The proof's in the pudding. The Pelicans are atrocious, and the Saints are atrocious. And they've been atrocious for 3 years. So it's not like I'm making a stretch here. They're among the worst teams in their respective leagues, and they share an office. It's not good.
It's only one common denominator. So, like you say, it's only one way is up. So what if Bryce Underwood had kept his commitment and came to LSU? Would there be the state of LSU football program? Oh, hold on. I'm reading this wrong. Where would the state of LSU football program be heading into the Arkansas game?
I don't think it would be any different.
I like this.
I mean, Nussmeier would have started against Clemson.
Of course.
And he would have started the first 4 games. He would have started against Ole Miss. I don't know where you would have made the change to Bryce Underwood. Maybe against A&M in the second half when they took him out and put Van Buren in. But, like, I still think Brian Kelly's his future was tied to the investment to this team. And candidly, like, if you had tied that money up in Bryce Underwood, maybe you don't even get the transfers that you got for this team to make it work. So this season might have been even worse if you had gotten Bryce Underwood. Now, I get that there would be potentially a thought that he's the savior of the next 3 years, but like, it's not like he's lighting the world on fire at Michigan. He wouldn't have transformed this team. Yeah, so, like, I don't think anything would have changed. I think Brian Kelly would be fired. You just have a precocious freshman on the bench that you'd be hopeful about, but you realize that still potentially 16 starters are going to be gone on next year's team. So I don't think entering the Arkansas game, which is this question, I don't think anything changes if you get Bryce Underwood.
Do you feel like the seat would have been a little bit hotter on Nussmeier if Underwood was on the roster this whole time instead of just, Van Buren?
I mean, it's possible, but it's a 5th year against a freshman. And again, like, if Underwood was the Heisman frontrunner right now and he was doing things you had never seen a true freshman do, but he's been just a functional Big Ten quarterback. Not much more than that, not anything less. He's not bad, but he's just like, okay, that's fine.
Okay, so what if Nick Saban says yes?
If he says yes, then he's coming, obviously. So that's what this question is. Like, again, we laid out my criteria for the next coach, and he doesn't qualify for the under 55, obviously. He doesn't qualify for, I think, as being obsessed with winning. And now you can say, how can you question Nick Saban? Well, I would question because he said 2 years ago, I took too much out of me, and I just couldn't give what I needed. And so that I would be concerned about. Now, he would hire a good staff.
He would.
He would get transfer players to come play for him.
Oh, he would.
And your defense would be good. So it would not derail the LSU football program. You could do far worse than that. It would not inspire me, and Brian Kelly did inspire me when they hired him. That's just kind of where I am.
All right, so what if LSU had addressed the offensive line more in the portal?
I think it helps. If you would have dumped one of the receivers, I don't know what they spent on any of these kids. Like, for an NFL or NBA team or an MLB team, you know what they spend. You go, okay, well, if you could take that much and get that guy instead, because it's all public. I don't know what any of these guys made, but you've got some wide receivers who aren't helping, and you theoretically spent some significant money on them. So if you would have not done that and gotten a right tackle instead, that helps. There's no doubt. If you would have not done that and gotten a guard and a tackle to go with Thompson and more, maybe that's better. I contend that the offensive line is the weakest unit on this team.
Yep.
Now, I can hear an argument that no matter how good your offensive line would have been talent-wise, you wouldn't have run the ball because the system wasn't good enough to run the ball in. Because they had NFL guys on that line last year and they couldn't run the ball. So there are just a lot of missing pieces there. And I can't point to a game you were definitely one play short in because of the offensive line. Like, you were not one play short in Oxford. I don't really think you were one play short in Nashville, even though the score would reflect that. You certainly weren't one play score against A&M. And I don't think you were one play away at Alabama. So it looks different. Maybe your offensive line's better in pass protection, but you didn't run the ball in this system for 2 years. And you had two completely different offensive lines. Completely different, same rushing attack. So that points me to the system.
Yep. So what if Nuss and Michael Van Buren are both terrible Saturday? Does Colin Hurley come into the game?
I don't think so. Because you have to consider how long they have to play to be quote unquote terrible. Like you're not gonna if you go 3 and out, like you don't just take the quarterback out. He went 3 and out. You got to have a few bad series, and then you go. You go to the backup, and he's got to have a few series. I mean, I guess if you're down to Arkansas 41-14,
ooh, please don't put that in there.
Because you've turned it over 3 times, and okay, maybe. But I kind of doubt that. I think those are your 2 guys on Saturday. This is very uplifting segment here.
I'm about to say, if there's a point in time where you're down 41 to something to Arkansas on Saturday, I'm just going to hang it up.
Arkansas can score,
They can score, but I mean, we can't score either. God.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. What if you can go take a week off to binge watch a TV show you've never seen before?
So it's down to 2, and I'm pretty convicted that in the one that I would want to watch. Okay. I've never seen The Sopranos or The Wire.
That's so crazy. I'm watching Sopranos right now.
The Wire is what I would pick.
Okay.
I want to watch The Wire. One day I will watch The Wire. For those that are listening and don't like, I've seen Breaking Bad. I loved it.
I love Breaking Bad.
I've seen Homeland. I liked it. I thought the first season was incredible. I thought it tailed off. But The Wire is next up for me at some point. It just, I don't have the time. It's just not there currently. And I do other things with my time when I have it. So
got kids.
That's next up. What's your answer to that? If it's that you've never seen, have you seen Breaking Bad?
Hunt, I was unemployed when I watched Breaking Bad, so I had nothing but time to binge watch that bad boy. I want to say, even though I just started Sopranos, I'm still on season 1, but I would have to be that. It's just it's too good. I want to finish it. So, what if you got an afternoon off to watch one movie you've never seen before?
There's a lot. There's a lot of movies I've never seen before.
Exactly.
And during COVID, the morning show here at the time got me into it to start. And I saw some that I'd never seen before. I loved a few of them. Shawshank was awesome that I'd never seen before. I enjoyed Fight Club, weirdly. That wasn't one that ever interested me, but I liked it. Let's see. What have I never seen that I would like to watch?
Me?
I'm so bad on the spot about that kind of
I know,
stuff,
movies
too.
are
There's
hard.
so many. Like, I don't have any interest in watching the Star Wars. Like, I've never seen them, and I don't.
You lucky T-Bob's not here. What are you doing?
Of course. But I don't have any interest in that. I've never seen, like, The Green Mile comes to mind. I've never seen...
If I even do this on the spot, because I only got one
I've never
answer.
seen The Godfather.
Whoa, okay. Godfather's
Is that one?
Yes.
Like, I've seen Casino. They made me watch... They had me watch Casino and Goodfellas.
Yes.
And I thought they were, like, the same movie, but I liked them both.
Yeah.
Maybe Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather. That might be one I go to.
Mine would have to be, just because I've only seen the clip of it, Inglourious Bastards. Inglourious Bastards.
Never seen that either.
It's basically just go back to like World War II, something like that. Jake, if Jake's listening, he knows what I'm talking about. That's it for What If Wednesday.
All right, good deal. We'll step aside, come back. We will close out hour number 1 next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. They're on airline at PQ, so if you see something on the website that you'd like, you can test drive it at Airline at PQ. If you don't want to go to Airline at PQ, that's little out of your way, or you just got a busy schedule, they'll help you out convenience-wise. They'll come to you. They'll let you test drive from your home. They'll let you test drive from your office. And if you decide during that test drive, hey, this is the car that I want to get behind the wheel. This GV80 is just exactly what I'm looking for. They'll deliver the car to you. E-contracts. You never have to set foot on the lot. A lot of folks just don't like the idea of being at a dealership. They've had bad experience in the past. You'll never have that at Genesis of Baton Rouge. But understandably, if you don't want to do that, life's moving too quickly, they'll come to you. It's all about the convenience. It's a luxury brand at a reasonable price. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. You can find them online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Closing up hour number 1, our Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. I enjoyed conversation last night with some LSU players, and we'll certainly get to that to close out the hour. We had a chance to chat with Jacoby and Guillory. We talked to Xavion Thomas. We talked to Damian Ramos as well. Harold Perkins was with us, and I enjoyed getting to chat with them about their kind of feelings moving forward to close out this season, and we'll get to those to finish off the hour. But for right now, let's welcome in the athletics director over at Baton Rouge Community College, Brock Kantrow. Got a big day tomorrow. Good enough to give us a little bit of time here at the close of the hour. Brock, how are you, sir?
Thanks, hon. Doing awesome. Appreciate you having me as always.
Absolutely. So big night for St. Aloysius students and parents tomorrow. Big game day for the Bears. Tell us about it.
Just excited to have the church and the school are invited to come to the game. I ran to Father Lello one night, and I said, you know what, we need to get y'all to a game. He said, well, send me the information. Let's do it. So free admission for all of the kids and parishioners at St. Aloysius, and want to come see what we're doing over here. You know, it's amazing right now with all the craziness going on in sports. I think we have something that's really fun to watch. There's no $53 million buyouts for us right now for any of our coaches. NIL is non-existent. We've got good kids that want to play basketball and are fun to watch.
They are for sure. The women will play at 5:30 tomorrow. The men at 7:30 over there at BRCC against Holmes Community College. How's the season started for you guys?
We're good. The men started 2-2. The women are off to a little bit of a slow start, but we played a bunch of really good competition in the tournament. It's all about, for us, it's all about the conference and the Region 23. These games really, they matter, but they don't, wins and losses don't really matter as long as you get prepared for the conference and Region 23.
So all St. Aloysius parishioners and students, parents, you can get in for free there tomorrow, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men. And if you're not, you can just go and by and see some great basketball over there at Baton Rouge Community College. Thanks, Brock.
You're the man, Hunt. Have a great day.
Sure will. He's Brock Kantrow, athletic director over there at BRCC. All right, so let's talk about my interactions with the players. This is something that I had a chance to do on a weekly basis in 2011, 12, 13. Stepped away from covering the team day to day, got into different lines of work, but came back here to do the show. And then while I was on the air, like, they were doing their player interviews, but it so happened we launched LouisianaSports.net, and Brian Kelly comes into the fold, and I got a chance now with the evening player interviews to go talk to the players. And I'll tell you this is something that's eye-opening for me. I get the pulse of the fans. I know. And I opened the show today saying, like, I know y'all just aren't as locked in to wins and losses as you generally are. I talked about my own emotions watching the game on Saturday. I know what that stadium's going to look like on Saturday afternoon. Now, the weather's going to be great, so that's going to help attendance, but hunting, losses, youth sports in the middle of the day, you're not going to have nearly a full house on Saturday. I get it. This town is looking towards the next football coach and the next football season, the future and the direction of the program. Like, that's where this fan base is. The players just don't really see it that way. We talked to Jacoby and Guillory. He's like, man, I've been through this. We've been through disappointing seasons. I want to go out on my terms, doing everything I can to win games. We got a lot of games to play. Harold Perkins felt the same way. He's been through disappointments. He came back from an injury and saying, like, I want to go out there and get this done. And then, we talked to other players yesterday, and you hear from Xavion Thomas, like, man, like, our offense is together. Like, we're fired up, no matter if it's Van Buren playing, it's Nussmeier playing. Like, we want to go out there and get this right. We want to do the right thing. Like, we know we haven't gotten things together, but we've got our brothers back, and they talk constantly about having each other's backs. And I know this is not groundbreaking news, but oftentimes when you're having your discussion in the bar room, you're having your discussion at the water cooler, you're having your discussion at the dinner table or in your group chat or at the office cubicle, and you're talking about the team, you're like, yeah, they may check out, like, they may be done, like, NIL, portal, like, and I'm not telling you it's an impossibility. Not at all. You see opt-outs, you see guys jump in the portal when coaches get fired. Like, I understand the landscape, but I do believe that you're going to get an inspired effort from LSU again on Saturday. You got one last week. Didn't mean the offense is going to score a touchdown because the offense isn't good, and they didn't score a touchdown. And I'm not here telling you that LSU is going to trounce Arkansas on Saturday because 4 guys told me on Tuesday they got their brothers back. That's not the point. What I'm telling you is it's sincere, and these guys do not look at this like fans do. It's just a different perspective. They're younger than most fans. They've got a lot invested together that fans don't see on a day-to-day basis. And you're going to get a team that wants to go out there and play. At the end of the day, they start this thing in January with the strength coach. And they go through spring workouts that have no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just practice after practice after practice. And then you go out there when it's 9,000 degrees and you run 110s and you weight lift at 5:30 in the morning and you're dealing with classes and study halls. And then you go through fall camp where it's 9,000 degrees again and you're bashing the same guy's head in for 4 weeks. And, like, it's just a long year. And you get to do this 12 times. That's it. And still, when they run out of that tunnel on a gorgeous fall Saturday with crisp air, they're going to be, 85,000 people in that stadium? It's going to be televised where you can watch it worldwide? They're going to be ready to go. Like, they're going to play hard. That doesn't mean they're going to play well. But this is a personal thing for me because I deal with fans every day. I write a story, I post it on Twitter, I get replies. I do a show. We've got a YouTube chat. We've got Twitter. I've got a group chat. I get a ton of text messages during football games, during Mondays, when the governor starts talking or the AD gets hired or what. Like I live in the world of the fans. I know what the pulse is, and it's refreshing for me personally for an hour last night to talk to guys who are saying the exact opposite of everything I'm hearing in my day-to-day life as an LSU fan who talks to a bunch of LSU fans. They're ready to go play on Saturday. They think Arkansas has got a good offense. They know they've got a chance to go win a game at home. They get to put on those uniforms inside that stadium and go play. So, like, the notion that we all live in, like, these guys are checked out, they're toast, they're opting out, they're not going to care, their goals are done. Not when you talk to them. We'll see what happens on the scoreboard on Saturday. I would bet the cash I took home from the blackjack table on Saturday night in Kinder that they'll come ready to play. You'll get an inspired effort. We'll see what it means. But it's just, I'm here to relay to you a perspective you don't get, which is I can talk to the players. And it was refreshing to me yesterday. You may not find it to be that. That's fine. Like, we got eyes on the future. I get that. It was refreshing to me to hear what those guys had to say yesterday. So just thought I'd pass that along to close out hour number 1. If you missed anything we said, catch it on demand. A lot of Hunt on LSU. When we come back after SportsCenter, we'll transition to the Saints. JD Picell in 20 minutes on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com. That's built by Renaissance.com. If you're watching our show on YouTube and you can see the panels on either side of me, you see a gorgeous Infinity Edge pool. That's something that they can do for you at Renaissance Homes and Pools. They can do big family-style pools that have got cool sunbathing areas. They can do something really simple like a cocktail pool that's really good for young kids, but maybe great for you in your retirement years. You just want to jump in. But the time is now when you're not thinking about getting in the pool, but you may need to think about getting into the pool by springtime. And if you start the process now, have those consultations now, start that design work now, the spring is very, very much doable. Call Joey Blanchard, 225-7745. 225-252-7745. 252-7745. You can check out his work at builtbyrenaissance.com. Builtbyrenaissance.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized, it'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz pleaded not guilty today to charges he and teammate Emmanuel Clase took bribes to help gamblers win bets based on pitches they threw. He was released on a $500,000 bond and issued GPS monitoring. Clase will be arraigned tomorrow. NFL with starter Jackson Dart in concussion protocol. The Giants will start Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson against the Packers on Sunday, according to interim coach Mike Kafka.
I think Jameis has done a great job since he's been here. Just like all our quarterback room, I got a lot of trust in that room, being in there all the time. Pretty much every single day since we've been here. But I got a good feel for those guys, and I think Jameis will do a heck of a job. He's a great leader. He has a lot of production in this league, and I think he's going to do a great job leading that league.
Quarterback Lamar Jackson not at practice today for the Ravens during the portion open to reporters. He's played the last 2 games after missing 3 with a hamstring injury. Baltimore is 1 game back of AFC North leading Pittsburgh. Cardinals receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. recovering after surgery for appendicitis on Monday. He is out at least for Sunday's game against the 49ers.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which playoff contenders are facing must-win games this weekend. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. We got JD Picell coming up in 15 minutes. Do some SEC football power rankings coming up at the bottom of the hour as well. I want to start the hour with some Saints discussion. They finally made it to the bye week. This is something that we were looking at really all of the offseason, summer into training camp as a potential line of delineation between the beginning of the season, where you're really trying to figure out just like what you got. We don't know what we got at quarterback. We don't know what we got at head coach. We don't know what we got in terms of all these rookies. You really do, what do we got? We don't know. And you got a tough start that involves some really difficult road games. You knew it was going to be tough to go on the road to Seattle. Knew it was going to be tough to go on the road to Buffalo. Now it's a chance to reset. We had pointed really to this week as the week for Tyler Shuck potentially to take over, depending on how the early portion of the season went. And now we're here. And the win-loss record's terrible. The quarterback change has been made. Some of the returns on the young players have been positive. Some of them have been negative. And you've made a couple of significant trades in terms of your current roster. You traded away a starter on the offensive line and your most explosive pass catcher. So the circumstances are different now than they were in August. That's fair to say. But you look at the second half of the schedule, and it's extremely manageable. You can manage games against the Titans and Jets and Panthers. You've got home games that you feel like you should have a chance to compete in, even if they're against teams that have a better record than you. So you've reached a point now where we can kind of reset expectation based on what we know. Tough to set expectations for this team August the 3rd. I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know what the coach does. I don't know how well the defense is going to take, especially with all those veterans, to Brandon Staley. I don't know what their injury status is going to be. There's so many variables. You know it's not going to be great, but like, what can you really pinpoint? Well, now we've got more to look at. And of course, that discussion is going to start with Tyler Shuck, and I'm willing to have that discussion now. Like, what are you looking for? Well, first, let's look back at what we saw in his start. I watched it every snap, and I liked what I saw. I thought he was efficient, thought he was effective, thought he took some shots down the field, thought that he moved the offense. Am I going to go nuts and throw an absolute jubilation of a party because they scored 17 points? No. But the passing chart I very much enjoyed. Here's why. I've got it pulled up for Pro Football Focus, and I'll talk you through it. He only threw 2 passes behind the line of scrimmage. Only 2. One outside the numbers, got blown up for a loss of 2, and one inside the numbers that went for 26 yards. But if you remember, with Spencer Rattler early in the season, it was just too much. Too much dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. That's all you saw. Take a shot. It just wasn't happening early. Well, Tyler Shuck wasn't just dinking and dunking. He only threw the ball inside behind the line of scrimmage twice. Now you look at the next set of passes, which is under 10 yards, between the line of scrimmage and 10 yards. These are your quick passes, your quick game, your screens just beyond the line of scrimmage, your quick outs, your short yardage throws. And he was very efficient with those. 0 to 10, he was 11 of 14 in the game. And got the ball out quickly where it needed to go. But it wasn't all that he did. Because if you look beyond 10 yards, he was 4 of 5 between 10 and 20 yards, one of the touchdowns to Juwan Johnson. And then if you go between 10 yards and further, so longer than 10 yards, he really was effective. He was 6 out of, let me make sure my math's right, 6 out of that's 7. 6 out of 10, and had a pair of touchdowns, including the deep ball to Olave for 62 yards. If you look at throws beyond 20 yards down the field, he hit a pair of those, and they combined for 104 yards. So he didn't just dink and dunk like you saw from Rattler. He did stretch the field. He did hit big plays. He was fairly effective at all levels of the field. So that's a tiny sample size. Tiny in one game against Carolina. But it's encouraging, and it's a difference from Spencer Rattler. So to me, as I look at Shuck, I want to see him continue to hit all levels of the field, hit big plays, and be efficient when you are checking it down. And to me, you're going 13 of 16 total under 10 yards, and you're hitting 2 big plays down the field. I like that rhythm. I like that chart. I like all those things when it comes to running the offense. So I like that from Shuck. I want to see a little bit more of that in the second half of the season. The other guy I wanted to profile today in terms of looking towards the second half of the season is Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks has played 641 snaps at left tackle for you to this point. If you just look at his Pro Football Focus grades, respectable. 68.3 overall in blocking, 67 overall in run blocking, 68.9 in pass blocking. One thing that stands out there, it's all balanced. It's all pretty good. I know we've got a portion listening to this that really only does Saints, got a portion listening to this that listens to the whole show, terrestrial radio, does LSU and Saints. The Pro Football Focus grades, when we talk about LSU and talk about the Saints, are very different. College kids have higher grades. They're playing against lesser competition at times. You see a lot of 70s and 80s and even into the low 90s at times. That's very, very, very rare in the NFL. You live in the upper 60s, low 70s, high 70s, up to 80. That's quality work. And Kelvin Banks has given you that in the run game and the passing game. There's one area I would really like to see Kelvin Banks clean up. He has been flagged 7 times. It's not even once a game. I need that number to come down. And I think that's realistic when you consider that he's gaining experience and he's now seen more than he did early in the season. Sometimes you're getting holding calls. Sometimes it's a false start. You got a guy across from you that's a really good pass rusher. You're trying to get a head start. Like, I get it. That's too many penalties. I like the blocking grades. When that ball snapped and you're asked to do a job, I like what he's doing to this point. Penalties need to come down a little bit for Kelvin Banks, and that's something I'm looking at. And as far as defense goes, there are a couple of young players who I think have really impressed to this point that you want to see more of. I love Danny Stutzman and the way he has played the run. It's something I've noticed on tape. Not on when I'm watching the games, and it's something that Pro Football Focus agrees with. 76.1 in terms of his run defense. Tackling's got to improve a little bit. It's only a 47 grade, and I think he's going to get more snaps. You've only seen 63 total snaps in 6 games from Stutzman. I think that number might double in the second half of the season. It would not surprise me to see Stutzman finish with somewhere in the neighborhood of 180 snaps this year. I'm looking at that linebacker spot. I'm looking at an aging Demario Davis, who, by the way, played brilliant football in Carolina and still has something in the tank and should be out there to show young players how you're supposed to play down in and down out and to help this team to try to win games. But I think you're going to see Stutzman more. And I love the way he's played against the run. And then I just need more consistency from Jonas Sanker on the defensive side. Like, some of the grades are good week to week. Some of the playmaking has been good. He's been around the football for some turnovers. Also, his tackling grade at this point is 29.5. That's got to improve. You can't miss that many tackles. He's at a missed tackle percentage right now of 18%, and they're crediting him to this point with 10 missed tackles. That's second on the team to Demario Davis, who, oh, by the way, is in way more often and way more reps than Jonas Sanker, so that's to be expected. So that's kind of a rudimentary checklist of what I'm looking for New Orleans. Shuck, I want to see all levels, not just checkdowns, all levels be efficient. He was in this game. And then I want to see Banks limit those penalties, continue to play at the level he is outside of the penalties. And then defensively, more from Stutzman in terms of reps and tackling, better tackling from Sanker. I'm cutting these things down into little bitty sample sizes. Like, I'm cutting these things down into small things you're looking for. I don't think it's realistic to look at this and go, well, I look at the Saints in the second half and go, I think they should win 5 games. Easy now. Like, they got to do a lot of things to build towards that. And I'm looking at young players. Shuck's the most important. Banks is probably second. Then you look at these young defensive players that are going to end up having to be the heir apparent to some guys that have played a lot of football. That's what I'm looking to see over the second half of the season for the New Orleans Saints. Not to put everything on Pro Football Focus, but it's a good tool that I have. And now the sample size is big enough with half the season in the rearview mirror, which you're looking at 10 games here. Okay, what do we got? And that's what I'm looking for in the final 7 games of the season for the Saints. If you're looking for our Saints content, you can find it, Hunt on Saints, wherever you find your podcasts. Also, I would love to hear, love to see you. Check it out, LouisianaSports.net, where Ross Jackson has all of our Saints coverage each and every day. We'll step aside, come back. JD Picell, host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Vaughn and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Think about the mornings. Think about the time you're getting ready to get out of the house. What if you could transform that bathroom? That's not just the shower, not just the bathtub. They can handle your floors. They can do the vanity. It can be an entire bathroom renovation. David Vaughn and his team can do it. That's not something you want to just call up the local handyman. Hey, can you put together a vanity for me? That's a tall order. Why don't you call the company that's been doing it for 30 years? Call the company that's licensed, bonded, insured. Call the company that's got a master plumber on site. If you're dealing with taking in or taking out or putting in a shower, dealing with a tub to shower conversion, let David Vaughn and One Bath and Closets handle everything for you. If you're looking for financing, they've got it. 0%. Same as cash. Up to 18 months if you qualify for that. Start with a consultation. That doesn't cost you anything. It's David Vaughn and One Bath and Closets. You can find them online, onebathandclosets.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Check out their work, builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. Always great to work with local folks. And look, Joey Blanchard and the folks over at Renaissance Homes and Pools are as local as it gets. If you're looking for the pool of your dreams, always wanted that outdoor kitchen and entertaining space, Renaissance Homes and Pools can help you out with that. Check it out, builtbyrenaissance.com. Let's go out to the Jim's Firearms Hotline. JD Picell, host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports, with us every single Wednesday. JD, how we doing?
Dude, better from one of those pools you're talking about. Every week, man, you tee it up, and I'm like, all right, when we get this weather back right in Nashville, we got any heated pools we're working with here? Is that
absolutely can make that happen over at Renaissance.
Okay.
I'm in. That's part of the gig. Let's talk some football. Look, I'm curious your thoughts on Alabama. My hatred for Alabama notwithstanding, I think Ty Simpson's awesome. I think Kalen DeWar's a really good coach. I think they've got a good team. I'm concerned about their ability to run the ball at all and whether or not you can go win 3 or 4 playoff games with no ground game. How do you feel about them?
I think the point you made at the end there of them winning 3 or 4 playoff games with no ground game, I feel more hesitant saying that with certainty about Alabama, but in regards to what they have in front of them, like we got a question on the show today of like, hey, could Alabama maybe slip up against Oklahoma and then weird things happen at Auburn? Like, I think the character of this Alabama team we've seen too many times is far too strong for them to lose multiple games in a row to finish the regular season. That's one part of it. And also, Hunt, like I think we keep talking about there being no perfect team, there being no juggernaut. And I'm like, okay, so if everyone has weaknesses, who has the best strengths? And you talk about Ohio State, which is absolutely fair. A&M deserves all the credit in the world, Indiana. But I'm looking at Alabama, and I'm like, man, they might have the strongest strength in college football wearing number 15. Like, as long as that dude's pulling the trigger, we saw them beat Georgia when Georgia ran for 2 bills on them. Like, Bama's not been great running the ball or stopping the run. So I think Ty Simpson, to put a finer point on this, might just be your ace of spades here when you're talking about Bama in the long term.
Fernando Mendoza might be that as well for Indiana. Certainly put on the Superman cape at the end of that game. You giving them credit for that's just a gutty win, or you say, hey, you probably don't need to be playing with your food against Penn State?
I think Penn State's a lot more talented than people realize. Like, I know it's gone south, and I know that Drew Aller's not the quarterback, and James Franklin gets paid $50 million to leave, but like, still a lot of dudes that are going to be wearing NFL jerseys next year on that roster, or in the future at least. So, to me, I think it is next to impossible in modern college football to bring your fastball every week. Like, it's 18 to 22-year-olds with a ball that's shaped funny and bounces weird. You got to travel to play games. So, like, you're not going to bring your best stuff every week. And to be able to get it done when you're not throwing 100 off the mound, to me, I'm like, okay, I learned a lot about the grit that Indiana team had. They blew everybody out, like 30-plus was the average margin of victory. I was actually impressed by the ability to grit your teeth and go get a win when you didn't have your best offensive player in Elijah Surratt, and you didn't have your best day at the office, period.
Same thing go for Oregon then, going in the rain in Iowa City?
Yeah, I was impressed Oregon could run the football against Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, 261 on the ground. I'm like, okay. Also, without your 2 best offensive weapons in Sadiq and Decorian Moore in street clothes for that one, like, I don't want to do the thing where it's okay if you don't play your best so long as you win. But I really do think that the things you saw from Indiana and Oregon in both those games respectively, like, I think those have staying power to them. Like, running for 261 against Iowa, if you can do that against that team in the rain, you can do that, I think, against most teams in college football, period. So, another spot where I'm like, I wish you had been more definitive, but we can't talk about Oregon and that being a trap game all week long, and then when they win a game in a trappy fashion, saying, oh, well, you should have beat them by more. Like, to me, I think that's kind of a double standard. I was impressed by the Ducks.
All right, let's move forward to the week to come here in college football. I guess I'll start with Notre Dame at Pitt. Notre Dame is 7-2. They're kind of doing what everybody thought they would do. How are we feeling about the Irish right now?
I think the fact they're at number 9 in these most recent rankings is really intriguing. Like, if Notre Dame was at 13 and trying to claw their way into that top 10, I would feel a little bit less easy. But like the committee's saying right now, at Notre Dame, we think you're a good football team. Like, if you go win all these games that you have left to play by 30-plus, it's going to be very difficult to sit in that room with a straight face as a committee member and say, I think we should drop Notre Dame. Even with Texas and their opportunity to gain some ground and Oklahoma to gain some ground, like, I really think that Notre Dame being at that 9 spot is a really nice head start, if you will, in this month of November for teams they're going to have to beat to get in the college football playoff from a ranking standpoint. But this Pitt game, man, if I'm a Pitt player, I hear my head coach talking about we could get beat by 100 and I wouldn't care. That may not sit as well with me going down the stretch here. We got a college game day in town. So to put a finer point, I think Notre Dame is in a good spot and kind of playing their best ball at the right time.
Can we get a big picture check on Notre Dame? Like, they lose to Miami, they lose to Texas A&M, and then your win to hang your hat on is USC. How do you feel about their place in college football right now, and then their place in this college football season?
You know, I'm actually okay with where they're ranked and how they're being perceived, because I think what the committee is doing, having them at 9, is they're saying we're factoring in your losses as well as your wins. And that's not to use the verbiage of, oh, good loss, but I think more so, hey, we see the good things you're doing in those losses. So, like, yeah, losing to A&M, we're going to dock you for that. But let's all be honest, if that's a good hold, we see A&M and Notre Dame go to overtime more than likely, and that's an awesome game to finish in overtime. Maybe Notre Dame still loses, but I think the committee's not just saying, well, a loss is a loss, screw you, Notre Dame. I think the fact they're looking at that and saying we see you doing good football team things, and we see the way that you're progressing and things like that, that I think is the right angle for Notre Dame. Also, let's say this, I think Notre Dame's a pretty trustworthy team as it stands right now, based on what we know about them. Like, the teams behind them in Texas and Oklahoma, like, none of us knew what Arch Manning was a couple of weeks ago. Like, we thought some publications called him college football's first flop. Like, we weren't sure what Oklahoma was after Ole Miss. How hurt is John Mateer? Hey, that defense, how good are they really? So I think those level of questions are a little bit more urgent, and we haven't had like a super urgent pressing question around Notre Dame at this point in the season that I can count, at least at this point.
Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa to play the Tide. 5.5 is the number on this game. We talked a little bit about Alabama, but how do you feel Oklahoma matches up?
It's funny, like I still think Alabama wins, but Oklahoma and John McTeer, like they are the exact profile of what has given Kalen DeBoer trouble. Like the quarterbacks that have beaten him, Diego Pavia, Nico Iamaleava, Jackson Arnold, Thomas Castellanos, all got a little wiggle to them, all got a little bit of design quarterback run, ad-lib potential to them. That's John McTeer. And also I think that Oklahoma has better weapons to go with what John McTeer is. Like the combination of quarterback talent plus weapon talent, I think they're actually going to be a little bit that plus like the stakes going to make Oklahoma frisky. So that's something to watch for, but I still think Alabama wins for the Ty Simpson effect, but it's going to be a burn the boats kind of approach from OU, man. So I'm excited for it.
Texas at Georgia.
Yeah, that's a great way to tee it up, honestly. Like that's all you need to say. Those two logos, those two teams.
Yeah.
If Texas can beat Georgia, that's where this whole thing is on and popping. Because at that time, if you're Texas, you're looking in the mirror saying, okay, we can go to Athens and beat that team. What can't we do? I still think that ultimately the Gunnar Stockton Georgia offensive firepower is going to be the difference. I don't think that if you're Arch Manning, you like chasing points in Athens, which is what I think they'll ultimately have to do. But if Texas can play complementary around Arch, here we freaking go. So I like Georgia to win, but excited to see what Arch looks like here against a better defensive coordinator in Schumann and Kirby Smart.
All right, I'll tee this one up for you. Like, what's your perception of what's going on in Baton Rouge the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, how long do you have, Hunt? Like, what are we
got a few minutes
working with here? Yeah, I mean, it's the whole buyout thing is just kind of a tough look. Like, honestly, I know Brian Kelly's far from the most popular person right now in Baton Rouge, but if I had a buyout right around $50 million, I'd probably say no to a negotiation with that too, just to be honest. I'm just curious to see who they go after here, Hunt. I'm curious to see what the profile is of the person they go after here. I saw something from Pete Nakos today before we went on the air ourselves that working on an extension with Jeff Brom at Louisville, and like Lane Kiffin to me still kind of feels like a weirdish get. I think he'll stay at Ole Miss. Like I don't know who the right win the press conference / is going to be a better head coach resume-wise guy for you than Brian Kelly. So that's not really addressing the wild stuff that's gone on in Baton Rouge with the governor and the AD getting fired and all that. Like that's just kind of poison to the water.
Do you think that matters?
Job. I think it matters so much as it matters to a coach. Like personally me, if I see the governor getting involved and I got a job at Ole Miss and I'm like Kiffin, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm good on that. I'll kind of just keep doing my thing. So like the dysfunctional nature of it is something that scares me when it comes to the next candidate.
So, I mean, as you look at LSU in comparison to Florida, in comparison to Penn State, in comparison to Auburn, maybe Florida State, if they jump in the mix as well, like how do you feel about it?
I feel like I'm still swinging the biggest bat, but I have the most questions to answer. Like I am the most attractive job, but I also come with the most baggage at this point. Like I think Auburn's the job you could win the quickest at if we're going to be real. Like if you hire someone before the playoff and you get someone to retain that talent, and you keep DJ Durkin, it's like, okay, let's go. But if you're talking about, hey, we could see this thing going down the road for a minute here, we could grow old together. Let's go ahead and build a life together. I think LSU is the job that has the most juice there.
All right, he's JD Picell, host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports. Wherever you find your podcast, just search The Hard Count. You can certainly find him on 3's YouTube channel. He's here every single Wednesday. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you, brother. Have a great one.
Sure will. We'll talk more LSU and Arkansas as we move forward in the week. I didn't feel like that was necessarily the most pressing issue to get to JD on, so just wanted his thoughts. I think it's good sometimes to get outside the bubble, and I would concur with him that like no matter what actually is going on at LSU, like the perception of what's going on does matter. And if you've got coaches that are looking at that and the perception is it's a disaster, like that matters. Maybe it's not. It looks like it. And if it looks like you're haggling a coach for no reason over a buyout because you're pinching pennies, maybe they're not. Maybe they really have something. Maybe they are because they're stretched thin cash-wise. But if it looks like you're doing that, it's not a good look. So perception matters, and the perception is bad. And you're talking to a guy who's based out of Nashville who talks about every college football team under the sun, and he's saying, yeah, I mean, I don't think that looks that great. Like, you have to fight that. And now, I think Verge Osbury's job he's still someone who's going to search for a coach. He's looking, but he's also recruiting. Like, he's also pitching LSU in a time where it feels very uncertain. So it's just a lot to unpack there. Appreciate JD for giving us a little bit of time. SEC football power rankings next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about my friends at Genesis of Baton Rouge. You can find them on the website, genesisofbatonrouge.com. Looking for a rental? They got you covered. They can get you into a rental for Thanksgiving if you're going on a road trip. They can get you into a rental for Christmas if you're going on a road trip. Don't want to put the miles on your vehicle, and at the same time thinking, maybe I'd like to get behind the wheel of a Genesis, see how that might drive. They've got you covered from the sedan perspective. They've got you on the SUV. GV80 is awesome. It's perfect for small family, great for a road trip. And it might be great for you as your next vehicle. If you'd like to get the opportunity to drive it, maybe an extended drive, you can rent one, and maybe that turns into a purchase. And if you do make that purchase, it will come with America's best warranty. And part of that is 3 years of complimentary valet maintenance. Nobody likes handling maintenance on their vehicle, so Genesis will help you do it on their own. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. They're airline at Pico. You can find them online, genesisofbatonrouge.com, genesisofbatonrouge.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Attention diesel mechanics. River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers along with traffic.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Though you
thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up.
I see a number that surprises me on the Twitter machine here. Stuart Mandel from The Athletic. Now it makes more sense. I misread the tweet. It said week 11 most watched college football games. LSU Alabama topped that list at 7.5 million. I thought it was on the season. Just week 11. Yeah, I can see that. Primetime, SEC, LSU, Bama. Indiana, Penn State drew 6 million. Oregon, Iowa drew 5.4. A&M, Missouri 4.9. They weren't. I just completely misread the graphic, which hurts. Yeah, makes sense that most of the people watch LSU, Alabama. Time slot, brands, reasonably close game. Makes a lot of sense. So LSU and Bama, most watched games. So 7.5 million people watched LSU not score touchdowns. Super awesome. Let's do power rankings.
Hunt's SEC Power Rankings.
Texas A&M! I'm pretty convicted in this. I think they're the best team in the conference. I would find a hard time to argue otherwise at this point. You would have to go to the schedule, I would think. But A&M's number 1 in the nation in third down defense. They're number 3 in the conference in rushing offense. They're number 4 in the conference in yards per attempt passing. They really don't have a huge weakness. I'm grossed out by it, but they're very, very good.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
I am concerned about Alabama running the ball and stopping the run. I am. I'm concerned about those two things. But right now, they haven't lost since Labor Day weekend. Their quarterback is playing excellent football. They do have talent. They got weapons on the outside. And most importantly, with their quarterback, he's stretching the field. He's making big plays, and he's not turning the ball over ever. He has 1 interception. I mean, LSU got him for a strip sack on Saturday, but Simpson's really good. He gives him a chance there at 2.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Dogs keep on hunting. Good enough. Not great against Florida. But we'll see. They got Texas coming to Athens this week. Another chance to make a statement offensively about Gunnar Stockton and what they can do to score some points. And you always feel like the defense is going to be pretty good under Kirby. So I've got Georgia at 3.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Rebels are number 4 nationally in total offense. They're headed for 11-1. I don't have anywhere else to put them here but number 4.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Top 5 has not changed from last week. Oklahoma is number 7 in the nation in total defense. They're number 7 in the nation in scoring defense. It's a very, very good defensive unit that I thought did a great job in Knoxville a couple of weeks ago to get that win. We'll see what they can do in Tuscaloosa defensively. They can maybe step up, and they can make their path to the playoff realistic if you can win this game in Tuscaloosa. Just probably have to beat LSU at the end there. I like this Oklahoma team on defense, and Mateer is healthier now. That Texas game was a weird one because he was bleeding out of his hand. So I think Oklahoma's good. I kept him at 5.
The Texas Longhorns.
I kept Texas at 6. Top 6 has not changed at all. I think Texas is looking better offensively the last 3 weeks. You figured Sark would figure something out with Arch Manning. And then their defense is very talented. Is it as dominant as we may have thought? I don't know. I mean, Vanderbilt scored all their points when it felt like garbage time, even when it wasn't. Texas is okay. I got them at 6.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Flaws for everybody from here on down. I moved the Vols up a couple of spots here. I think Aguilar's a good passer, not a great one. I think their running game is good, not great. I think their defense is fine. Again, this is where it gets into some flawed teams, and I think Tennessee is as good as the rest of the flawed teams.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Bumped Vanderbilt down 1 from the Texas loss a couple weeks ago. They're right there in the middle of the pack. I think right now I'm going to pick Tennessee to beat Vanderbilt next week, or in 2 weeks, I should say. So that's why I've got Tennessee ranked ahead of Vanderbilt. But they're what and what. If that game was, I'm not even going to say Nashville because that'll have more Tennessee fans than Vanderbilt fans. If they played in Tempe, Arizona, I think it would be a close game, but I like Tennessee a little bit more right now.
The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri drops 1 spot. You don't have their quarterback, okay? So I don't know what to make of that. You're throwing a freshman out there and asking him to make plays. That's a tough thing to do. They ran the ball pretty well in the second half against Texas A&M, which was decent, but they were never really in that game, and the defense got gashed, and that's supposed to be their strength. So I backed up Missouri a spot tonight.
The LSU Tigers.
Everyone behind LSU kind of stinks, so I've got LSU at 10th. I don't feel great about it, but the defense played pretty well on Saturday. So, again, like, you think of yourself like, oh, this LSU offense is really bad. They're probably worse than 10th. Listen to the teams that come behind them. I don't know that you can make that case.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I got State at 11. They've won 1 league game in 2 years. they play hard. Chapin's pretty good. Levy's good play caller. Their defense is bad, but it's improved. Like, it's not good, but they're 11th.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas hasn't won a game yet. They're 0-for in the league. They're 0 and they lost their last 7 games. Like, their defense is so bad. The offense is good, but this is 12th. They haven't won a game yet. That's why I struggle. Put LSU a lot further back.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
The Gamecocks are bad. What do you want me to tell you about it? Lenore Sellers doesn't look very good. They can't run the ball at all. They fired their offensive coordinator. Defense gets gashed. They're 3-6 on the year. They're going to get crushed in College Station on Saturday. They stink.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Credit to Kentucky. They've been 16 for a month, and I had to move them because they've won their last 2 games. They beat Auburn. They beat Florida. They didn't just beat Florida. They crushed Florida. They made the move, and they put a better quarterback in there. You got Cutter Beloy in there. He's been better. They're not good, but they're not 16th anymore. I've got them at 14th.
The Florida Gators.
Florida is 15th. They dropped 4 spots. You cannot go to Lexington, Kentucky in the big grocery store and get emasculated by a team that should be firing its coach and is terrible. And that's what happened to Florida. This has got to be rock bottom for the Napier era, although that's over. You look at DJ Lagway getting benched. That was unthinkable in August. They're bad. Like, they played Georgia tough. They got a win over Mississippi State. Whatever. They stink.
The Auburn Tigers.
They're 1-6, and their last game is Bama. So that's the worst team I got. Maybe Florida's worse, but Florida does have a couple of wins. Auburn's got 1 in Fayetteville, and they had to change quarterbacks to do it. They played some close games. They played close at Oklahoma, played close in College Station. I got them at 16. I think they're the worst. That's my SEC Power Rankings. Texas A&M at number 1, Alabama at number 2, Georgia at number 3, Ole Miss at number 4. Those are my playoff teams right now. Oklahoma could work their way into that mix with a win against Alabama. They're 5th. Texas 6th. That did not change. Move Tennessee up a little bit. Vanderbilt drops back to 8. You got Missouri at 9. LSU's at 10. And I really don't like it all group behind LSU. Mississippi State 11. Arkansas 12. I realize that South Carolina is at 13. Kentucky's at 14, Florida at 15, Auburn at 16. It's, 10 through 16 is a rough scene, and 1 through 5 are legitimate playoff contenders. I'm not going to put Texas in a legitimate playoff contender spot right now because they have 2 losses. They're at Georgia this week, and they still have to play Texas A&M, so I think they're going to lose 2 more games. Technically, they're still in it because they only have 2 losses, and if you win those 2 games, you're in. 10-2, win at Georgia, beat Texas A&M, in. But right now, I can't do that, so I've got Texas out at number 6. But that's my look with the SC Power Rankings.
How are you feeling about the Alabama-Oklahoma game this weekend? Because that's going to have some big implications.
I think Bama will beat them in Tuscaloosa. I think they'll score some. I haven't decided on the number. I think it's 5.5. I haven't made that call yet, but I think Bama wins the game in Tuscaloosa. I'm a little wishy-washy on Bama at the very top of the sport. Maybe I'm grading them on the last 17 years instead of this year, which is unfair. But it's hard for me to look at Bama. They couldn't run on LSU last week. Just couldn't run the ball. Hand off into his brick wall.
They look like us.
Right, and I know LSU's got some decent players on the front 7, but when I think of a championship Bama team, they're running the ball. Yeah. They're going to run the football. They're going to run it on Ohio State. They're going to run it on Georgia. They're going to run the ball. They can't run the ball. So you're going to ask Ty Simpson to do everything? He's doing it right now, but that's a lot. And I think you can run it on Bama. I thought LSU would. They stink running the ball. Georgia ran for 220 on them. That's concerning when you start playing those really good teams. You play A&M, you play Ohio State, you let them run for 220, it's going to be hard to win. So I think Bama's good. I'm a little wishy-washy on them at 2, but again, I'm not going to put Georgia ahead of them. They went to Athens and punked them. Yeah. So is what it is. That's a look at your power rankings here on this Wednesday. We'll step aside, finish it up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
But not before I tell you about the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. Look, storm season is done, and that's awesome. It was quiet around here. We love that. But you always know that another one's coming. And the time to think about your policy for a hurricane is not September 15th when that storm's in the Gulf, because you don't have an opportunity to change things. time to think about it is now. It's low pressure, low stress. You can shop it around and make sure that you get what you need. Make sure your building valuations are right. Make sure there aren't co-insurance penalties that are going to hurt your insurance payout. Make sure that you don't have property that's not listed, or make sure that you don't have a deductible that you're uncomfortable with. Make sure your business interruption limit is right, that you're going to be paid when you're not allowed to work. All these things are vital in a property policy, and they are going to come into play in this side of the world. Like if you live down here in the Gulf Coast, you need to have preparedness for a hurricane in your insurance program. Trust the Highland Insurance Group, Jonathan Carbo and his team, to make sure that you're taken care of in the event of a storm. You don't have to worry about the stress of getting it done under the gun right now because we're out of storm season. But you need to know and have the peace of mind when that next storm season rolls around that you're covered. So if you want to do that now, talk to the Highland Insurance Group. Have that conversation. Let them shop with their dozens of contracted carriers to make sure that you're in the right place with your property policy. Market's tough down here in South Louisiana. You know that as a business owner. Trust the Highland Insurance Group to navigate those waters with you. It's the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at highlandig.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, JD Picell, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Picell.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Looking to get in the pool of your dreams. Maybe the outdoor kitchen you've always wanted. BuiltByRenaissance.com. BuiltByRenaissance.com. Give you Joey Blanchard's cell phone number. He's the owner of Renaissance Homes and Pools. He can help you out. It's 225-252-7745. BuiltByRenaissance.com. Now, I had to pull a fast one on the Myers man this morning, Jordan.
Oh, man, what happened?
So his mom, very adamant got to get the flu shot because got the little one, the 8-month-old. So she got one, the 8-month-old got one, and then she sent me and Myers to get ours. So I can't tell him about it. But I did on the way out before we were leaving, let him pick one of the Halloween candies out. I didn't tell him why we were doing that, but to get in the car. So we got in the bucket, got the Halloween candy he wanted, picked out some Lifesaver gummies that he wanted.
I love Lifesaver
So we get in the car, we go, and he said, why are we going this way? Well, we're just going somewhere else.
Taking a trip.
We're going to the doctor. Okay. Why are we going to the doctor? And I said, to make sure we don't get sick. So we go in. He doesn't know. He's bouncing off the walls. He's just with his dad, whatever. So we go in, and we're in. The nurse calls us back. I pull up my sleeve on my jacket, and I said, watch. And so they give me the shot, which I don't love it either, but it's what it is what it is. It's like, and I looked at him, and at this point, we've been talking about the doctor for 30 minutes, talking about treats for 20 minutes. Said, okay, you want a donut? And he was like, yes, loves chocolate donuts with sprinkles. All right, now it's time for you to get your shot.
Yeah.
His eyes about fell out of his head.
Yeah.
So the nurse has already got it all ready. So we pull the pants down, plop up.
Oh.
She goes in. She's and she goes in with a stick. He screamed like nothing I've ever heard in my life. And it was like full. It looked like a cartoon where the cartoon kids' eyes come out, like the head shakes and rattles. It was a tough scene, but she was quick. I was like, all right, do we want a donut? It's all over, but it was quite a morning. But he enjoyed the donut with sprinkles.
As a needle hater, I definitely understand where he comes from. And honestly, you should have rewarded him with some McDonald's after the fact. Don't forget the donuts. I need a Happy Meal after the fact.
He wants a donut, chocolate donut with sprinkles. That's the kid. But he got the Lifesaver gummies, got the chocolate, and he was actually fine walking out of there.
Oh yeah, once it's over and done.
And we called his mom in the car on the way out. And he was like, yeah, Mom, I cry very loud. I'm like, yes, he did cry very loud, but we got through it. But it's the only way to do it. If I had told him an hour out, he would have been miserable for an hour.
Oh,
He'd learned. But between the time I told him it was time to get a shot and the shot was out of his leg was 23 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the way it's got to be.
But it's the longest 23 seconds, though.
It's a long 23 seconds for him. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Might have to start things a little early on Saturday. It's 11:45 kick. I don't know if you want to be slugging, triple IPAs at 9 o'clock in the morning. How about a light beer to get your day started on Saturday? Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Perfect for pregame coming up on Saturday, LSU and Arkansas. Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer.
All right, we're going to kick this one off. We got a lot to do today. So Eagles star wide receiver A.J. Brown was on stream with his streamer Janky Rondo last night, and he said during the stream, if you have me in fantasy football, just go ahead and get rid of me. And Rondo, asked him a couple things. So AJ said again, yeah, my family's good, everything else a bleep show. Will AJ Brown be with the Eagles next season? Take it or leave it?
Leave it. Oh, yeah. And I just don't know how that happens. He's on a huge contract. The team's really good. I don't understand what is so appalling about what's going on. I obviously don't know. I'm not in the Eagles practice facility. I don't know what his relationship's like with the coach or whatever, but it just feels like it should be okay. You just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some element in professional sports that if we're winning, things are pretty good. They're winning. Things obviously are not good, and I just don't really get that.
I don't get it either, but we're going to see how it plays out. Thankfully, I didn't draft him in fantasy football. Shout out Taylor Sharp. With Jackson Dart Brain currently being out of commission, the New York Giants are going with they're not going with Russell Wilson, but instead, Jameis Winston will get his first start of the season. Is this finally the end of Russell Wilson? Take it or leave it?
Take it? I think that's right. I mean, another franchise, it's like I'm good. You've been through Seattle to Denver to Pittsburgh. Now you're in New York. And that's about the end of the line. I mean, he's a monster personality to bring in to be a backup quarterback. So exactly. I think that's probably the end of the line.
Over with. So Jake Paul is back in the news as he is finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December against two-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Will Jake Paul finally get his respect? Take it or leave it?
Leave it. I don't know. Does he ever win in these fights? I don't watch him.
They're like,
does he win?
relatively, you can't say he wins. Now, are they authentic wins? We don't know. But yeah, he's won. I mean, he knocked out Nate Robinson, even though that's Nate Robinson.
The NBA player that's like 5'4"?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. It's Nate Robinson. It wasn't Anthony Joshua, two-time heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I'm a pass on all that.
You know?
I'm out.
All right, so Braves catcher Drake Baldwin won Rookie of the Year. Cade Horton was robbed. Take it or leave it.
Take it. Ridiculous. Unfathomable that Drake Baldwin would win this award. 274 with 19 homers and an 810 OPS. That's a mediocre season. Cade Horton,
what do you have?
in the second half, had one of the greatest second halves in the history of Major League Baseball. He made 12 starts and posted an ERA of 1.03. He was the best pitcher not rookie, best pitcher in the National League in the second half in the middle of a pennant race. Unfathomable that Drake Baldwin won this award.
Nah, you actually have a good point to make. That's crazy. So, last but not least, Paul Skeens will win the NL Cy Young tonight. Take it or leave it.
I will take it. Paul Skeens will get that award. He was in a dogfight with Zach Wheeler into August, and then Wheeler had the blood clot and missed the rest of the season.
Yep.
Skeens kept on rolling. He's made history in Pittsburgh with the numbers that he has put up there, and he'll be rewarded with the Cy Young tonight. Just a matter of time before they get him out of Pittsburgh, but he's got to deal with it for a couple more seasons, probably. Yankees, Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox.
Dodgers, yeah. Well, he's not Japanese. He's not Japanese.
Cubs, yeah.
He's not going to the Dodgers.
The Cubs would never pay him because he's going to command $380 million. But, yeah, he'll win the NL Cy Young tonight. That'll be cool. That's it for a Wednesday show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. If you missed any of it, catch us on demand. That's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. Have a safe and happy Wednesday. We're back tomorrow, the Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier